Watch this. I've just asked my AI agent a question inside Buzz, and the answer is coming back from a computer in the next room. Not from OpenAI, not from Anthropic, no API key, no bill. In my last Buzz video, every agent I ran cost me money every single day. Well, today they run for free, and the hardware doing the work isn't even mine. Now, here's the whole idea in one sentence. People in the same community lend each other their spare computers, often dusty computers. That's it. Buzz calls it shared compute. Underneath, it's actually an open source project called MeshLLM. Block shipped it into Buzz at the end of July, and there's a blog post about it. There isn't a single command in it, so that's what today is. I'm going to show you the full setup. There are actually 3 things that this can do. The first one is the one you'll probably actually use. Someone in your community runs an AI model locally, and everybody gets to use it. The second is called mixture of agents. You ask several models the same question at once, then it combines the answers together. And the third one, this is a bit wild, a model too big for any single machine, so we've all got 16GB Mac minis going on, gets split across several machines, layer by layer. They've tested that with models up to 1 trillion parameters, by the way. Now the question everyone asks me next, where does my prompt actually go? Look at this. Buzz has a relay, that's the server your community lives on. The relay is a phone book. It knows who's sharing, who's a member, and which models are up and online. That's all it does. Your prompt doesn't go through the relay on a hosted server. Your prompt goes straight to the other machine, encrypted peer-to-peer. And that answer then comes straight back to you. And that brings me on to the bit that I'm not going to skip. The person whose machine answers your phone call, right, can actually read what you sent it. Now, that's not a bug, that's actually just how it works. The engineer who built it actually said it the best. He said it's like neighbors sharing power tools. It comes down to trust. So share compute with people you trust, and that's exactly why Buzz gates this on your community membership. Only members of your community can share your mesh, not the whole internet. Okay, now let's turn it on. I'm in my private members community, which you can join, by the way, using the link down below. And you'll see there's a bunch of settings here, but the most important one you want to access is right at the bottom down here. Go into your menu, look for settings, and then you'll see right here, you've got the ability to select compute. So Buzz has picked the model for me. 64GB or more and you get Llama 4, 26 billion parameters, 17GB on your disk, and anything smaller, you get the little one, the E4B one. And here's the clever part. It checks the model automatically before you even start this feature up. There is my recommended model. If nothing fits, it'll recommend nothing at all. And that's not a failure, your machine can still use everyone else's compute, you just can't contribute to the pod. So here's the shortest tutorial ever. Inside settings, compute, share compute, you just enable this. Wait for it to do its thing, it's starting up, it will download that little tiny Llama 4 E4B model on my Apple Mac M1 Max 24GB. Here it is coming down the wire on my computer, you only have to do that once. Now, the bit that actually matters. Sharing a model does nothing on its own. You have to point an agent at it. To do this, you need to go to Agents in the sidebar and then scroll down and create an agent. I'll call mine a very simple local AI. Now, for the agent instructions, I'll just leave those blank and customize the AI configuration. Agent harness, that will need to be the Buzz agent. That's what allows you to use the compute of the community. And then for LLM provider, you want to choose Buzz shared compute. That's all you need to do. Create agent, done. No API key anywhere in that setup. You're using your own community's shared compute. Now let's prove it, right? Because a green card in settings, which is what I've got here on local AI, proves nothing. So watch this. We'll go into channel members for a private channel and add local AI. That's the agent I just created. All right, at Local AI, who are you? Let's find out. Local AI has seen this. Local AI is responding to me. This is very, very exciting. I should get a response very soon. There it is. Simple as that. I'm Llama 4. That's absolutely awesome. That answer was written by a model running on a machine I'm not even touching, and it cost me nothing. Now let's make this interesting. MacBook Pro here, flip the compute model on, and yes, I'm sharing compute from my MacBook Pro. This is amazing. The number in the community goes up, and this is the big one. You can see on my original Mac Studio that MeshLLM is getting set up to do exactly what it said, share compute, and that being shared right here is my Llama 4 model, and it's being used by another member right now for one request. One peer is on the mesh grabbing something right now. And here's the really big one. I'm on my Mac Studio M3 Ultra with 256 gigabytes of RAM on it, and look at what fits well on this. Yes, Llama 4 26B, but I can get Llama's 3.3 70 billion parameter model and share it out by flipping this toggle on. And the pool it just joined is bigger than anything I could ever run on my own. That's 3 machines in my studio alone running Mesh LLMs and shared compute. Now imagine 4 members doing this with different houses. Now I want to show you where this is going, because what I've shown you so far is what's in the app today, but this next bit is not. There's a pull request open right now that redesigns the whole thing, and it will appear in your sidebar like this as shared compute. You can see I can open it up, and there are 3 peers showing on this beautiful animation here. There is a working mock. This is a working mock of what the feature may look like. Look at this. It sits right there in the sidebar, under your inbox, under your agents. Colored dots tell you everything. If someone joins the mesh, look at that. Another person appears on the mesh. A colored dot tells you everything. Now there are 5 peers connected. And of course, if someone leaves, the peers go down again. And if we completely disconnect, boom, we're out of the picture. Our bubble has disappeared while the other community members share their compute. Green on, that means when it enables, you are sharing your compute. Blue means that you're using somebody else's compute. Right here, you can see that requests are running in the sidebar. And you don't need to pop out the sidebar because everything shows by a colored dot like this, glowing orange when it's connecting and green when you're connected to the community peer-to-peer. And the interesting thing about this pop-up is how close the nodes are to you is how fast the machines will answer. So these ones may well be on my local network. Others may be further out, and people the other side of the world might be right out on this outer ring. And here's another thing. How big the dots are is showing you how big the compute is that's being lent on the network. You can see the total amount of RAM that's being shared for wonderful AI local inference, and you can see the big or small dots that indicate what you're getting. You're always the dot in the center. Oh, and by the way, the faint gray dots around the edge, well, those are members who are all part of the community who haven't switched shared compute on yet. Their account, not a number of gigabytes, so if anyone's a gray dot, hassle them and tell them to turn it on, because someone who hasn't shared anything yet hasn't told you what they own. Now watch what happens when people join. Here we go, that's a gaming PC. Oh, look at that, that's a home lab. There we go, that's someone's Mac Studio joining in. None of this is my hardware, and people can join and leave at any time, depending on if they're actually on the network. All of that, though, is my compute, the RAM that's appearing there right at the top. That belongs to me. I have access to all of it. And one small thing I really like about how the Buzz team built this, nothing actually moves along those lines. No little packets gliding down the spokes because the software doesn't know which machine each request is sent to. So I don't know that I'm sending my request to Matt's machine or Greg's machine. It genuinely doesn't know. So instead of actually animating a lie, they just animate nothing. And I think that's a lovely bit of engineering. Now, with all this said, and you're probably really excited, 3 things that will bite you. 1, at the time of filming, sharing is Mac only. Sorry, Windows and Linux users, but it doesn't ship the mesh code yet on Buzz Desktop. If you're on Windows, you can still use the community's compute, you just can't lend your own. But At the rate the team are shipping, it'll probably be available by the time I publish this video. Check your own build before you assume. Number 2, there's an open bug where the toggle sits on starting forever sometimes and the app doesn't tell you what's wrong. So if it's been sitting on starting share and compute for 10 minutes, that's the bug and not you. And 3, don't get greedy with the model. I tried to be really clever and pick the biggest thing my machine could hold, but Buzz's own code actually tells you not to do this. The 2 it recommends are actually the ones that it chooses for you. Recommended. Go for those because they don't sit there thinking away to themselves. Thinking models are apparently bad. They just answer. Answering is better than thinking for shared compute. Reasoning models burn tokens in the background and your agent feels really sluggish. So take the recommendation. So here's the full picture. Buzz Shared Compute is one toggle. It picks the model for you. It only lets members of your community in. Your prompts go peer-to-peer, not through the relay, and the machine that answers you can read them. So share with people that you trust. That's the whole thing. Now, I want to know in the comments, what's the machine you've got sitting around doing nothing right now? Is it a gaming PC? Is it an old Mac? Is it a server under the stairs? Tell me what it is, and I'll tell you what it could run. Everything I set up today is inside my community where we are already sharing compute among each other, and it's a lot of fun. Every setting, every model, every gotcha, the link is down below. Come and join us, share some of your compute with us. Thank you so much for watching, and YouTube is showing a video on your screen right now you should watch next. Thanks.